Yes, welcome along to episode 9 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365 with David Jennings and Gavin Lynch, counting down to the 2022 Cheltenham Festival. Now, Gavin is home. We've got him back safe and sound, so he'll all be breathing a huge sigh of relief. He is home, he looks well, and he's happy. We were supposed to be, as usual, in our studio in Dublin, but unfortunately our cameraman has got ill at the last minute, and I think you can all probably guess what ill that is. So we're here in, as Smithy would say, in Gavin and Stacey, Le Gavlar residence, and it is a pleasure to be here, Gavin. Welcome home and Happy New Year.
And you, Dave. Happy New Year.
How was the holiday?
Yeah, sure, it was good. It was lovely to get a break. Anne really well-deserved one. So
she did definitely did.
One little problem.
One?
The towels, Dave. The towels and the bathrobes.
Oh yeah.
They were that fluffy. We could barely fit them into the suitcases to bring them all.
You're stealing towels now.
Towels,
that's what it's come to. Now, the most important thing, and Up in the Ante viewers will want to know this, Gavin.
Yeah.
Did you get to see the racing?
I got to see all the replays, but my usual method of seeing the racing wasn't available over there. So what I had to do was got creative and I video called a friend of mine on WhatsApp, and he got his phone and turned it around and faced it towards his TV in his sitting room.
He must be a very good friend.
Yeah, so he'd done that about 4 times a day because I couldn't wait to see the replay because the racing was too good. And the racing over Christmas was excellent.
It was epic.
Oh yeah, fantastic, yeah.
Did you come out of Christmas in front or behind financially?
Thankfully, the last couple of Christmases were very tough. This time I actually won a few quids. That was good.
Pay for the holiday?
A little bit of it.
Okay. So it was a good Christmas for Gavin Lynch. That means you're going to be in good humour for the show.
Yeah.
So let's get on with it. Let's get on with the show. So we might be in a different location, but the format stays the same, Gavin. We're going to kick off with our questions from the crowd. And the first question this week comes in from Jerry McStay. And it is about the one horse everybody has been talking about over Christmas, Galloping the Shams. And Jerry wants to know, how good is Galloping the Shams, Gavin? He looked awesome at Christmas. Could he be the next Coro star? That's a big call, Gavin.
Yeah. Last week's show, we covered the first 2 days of Christmas, and I said the performance of the Christmas was Shishkin. So he was the performance in the UK, but the performance in Ireland over the 8 days racing was definitely Galloping the Shams.
Okay.
The thing I love about him the most is the fact of his age. That at the time he was only 5.
The most impressive thing about the performance was his age.
Wait, I'm coming to it. But whatever word you want to use, he was fantastic, awesome, etc., etc. But the fact that he was only 5 to be able to do that, he's now 6. And the beauty of it is that he'll get to run in his first Gold Cup, barring injury, please God. He stays fit and well and sound. Is that he's going to be 7, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Again, I know I won't harp on too much about bumpers and all that. It's been a waste for years.
Oh, here we go.
No.
Here we go.
Anyway, he was brilliant. Is he the next Cotto star? Like, we haven't had a horse reach 180 for a few years, but this fella definitely could. He already has received you were telling me a Racing Post.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't steal my stuff.
Go on, you say it.
So he received a Racing Post rating in RPR of 163, which is the highest I could find of the modern era. Altior, when he won, I think by 54 lengths at Kempton, got 160. Sprinter Sacra, for that breathtaking Doncaster performance, got 154. I think Duvan and Vauteur got 153. So like that's what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Like 163, and like it wasn't a great race.
No,
and they, as I said in my column, they all jumped like snooker tables in the crucible behind. They jumped terribly.
Yeah,
but you just sometimes have to go, whoa.
Yeah, look how long it took him to pull him up, and luckily there was horses coming the other way and might have slowed him down. When we're doing the week that was, I have a time comparison for the Savills chase.
Good. Okay.
But he was amazing.
So to finish Jerry's question, could he be the next Cotto star?
Well, if I say he could, you're going to say, Gavin Lynch said that he is the next Cotto star.
Could he be?
He could be.
Gavin Lynch says he's the next Cotto star. Our second question this week comes in from Penny Hall. And she says, Gavin, the Gold Cup has suddenly become the most open race of the Cheltenham Festival. Where is the value now? Because it's impossible to find.
It's a very, very open race, which is great. I like the fact that we don't have a 6-4 shot in it. Aplutard looked great in Haydock and then got beat by Galvin. I personally think Galvin a 5-1 each way. And we have to mention that Bet365 are now non-runner, no bet, and best odds guaranteed on the top 5 championship race at Cheltenham, so fair play to them. So Galvin each way, in his last 10 starts, he's had 7 wins and 3 times he was second. So he's very consistent. He likes Cheltenham. We saw that last year in the National Hunt Chase. That race working out quite well as well. And I think if the ground came up good on the Friday, which there's always a chance it could, he will love, the better the ground, the better it'll suit him.
But Gavin, he's 5-1 now. Is he really going to be short in 5-1 in the day?
Probably not, but you asked me what would be the best. like there's no point backing a horse at 20-1 getting beat. I think Galvin each way at 5-1. I think he's rock solid to be in the first three. A Plus Tard is 3-1 favourite. The one little thing you have to think about A Plus Tard is its jumping at the last couple of Cheltenham festivals wasn't brilliant.
Yeah, but he's a better jumper this year.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you could be right.
Do you not think a 3-1 A Plus Tard has a better chance of winning than Galvin at 5-1?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily back a horse each way at 3-1, whereas there's no problem backing a horse each way at 5-1. So I think Galvin is guaranteed to be in the first three. A Plus Tard was carried a bit wide in the race in Leopardstown.
Probably took it up a little bit.
Yeah, well, you see, Rachel loves to do this where she blocks off a jockey. She did it before at Cheltenham. We saw it in the Ballymore. We saw it in the Gold Cup. She's very good at it. So she went and nudged Davy out of the way, and then that meant she got there a bit too soon. So that actually might have cost her the race. But
okay.
What else have we got?
Has Gavin Lynch backed Galvin for the Gold Cup yet?
I haven't yet. No, I've had no bet really in the Gold Cup.
Okay.
So
anything at bigger prices?
Not particularly. Tornado Flyer is 8-1. I think he's bigger in places. He's been to Cheltenham before three times.
He'll be back at Tornado Flyer at 8-1.
I know. Well, Willie has said that he starts out well and gets worse, so maybe this season he might maintain his form a bit better.
What about Champ?
I think he'll go the stairs hurdle.
Yeah.
Because his jumping's not good enough to go over fences. And I think he's got a right chance in the stairs as well. But
and this question, a similar question, was asked a few weeks ago, and you said, do not write off Manila Indo. So where are we with Manila Indo?
Yeah, last week we were kind of writing them off when we were chatting. Look, he has to really, really bounce back after Kempton. Henry has said that he wasn't himself since he came home. His record in Cheltenham is almost faultless. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think Galvin each way. Who do you think?
I think at the prices I would prefer A Plus Tard to Galvin, but I think Galvin, I think you're right. I think if you're looking for an each way play in the race, it's very hard to see him finishing out the first straight.
He's very honest. He jumps great. He'll prefer better ground. He stays. He loved the 3 mile tune a little bit. So maybe Galvin each way.
Yeah, it's very boring. Top two in the market. A Plus Tard and Galvin. And our final question this week comes in from Dermot Dixon. And Dermot says, apart from Shishkin, name one other British trained horse that will definitely win at the 2022 Cheltenham Festival. Gavin, I'm looking forward to this answer, I have to say.
I can't give you one.
No,
I can't give you one. Like, definitely is a strong word, so I can't. Oasis
okay,
first album.
Probably. We'll switch it to probably. Who will probably win?
How was Oasis first album?
Definitely, maybe.
Correct. Didn't think you'd get that.
Big Oasis fan.
If you look at the betting, their best chance at the moment, there's 19 non-handicap races, right? And English trained runners are favourites in 2 of them. Shishkin, you've mentioned, and the other one is John Bond, along with Constitution Hill. That might be their best chance. I will give you a race that England will definitely win. And that's the Ultimate Handicap Chase. Ireland hasn't won it since 2005 with Dundara, so we're not from 15 in that. We don't even have many representatives in that race, so England will win the Ultimate. But as regards one of the non-handicaps, maybe, like, I tipped up Sir Gerhard in the Supreme, so I can't turn around and say John Ball will definitely win the Supreme. So, but they're probably even one each of 2 to win the Supreme, England or Ireland.
Okay. I think the Supreme is definitely their best chance. I think Constitution Hill, I think on Saturday he will.
Yeah, sure. He'll
be even shorter for the Supreme. But do you think the Ultimate? So you're going with the Ultimate. You're going for a race rather than a horse, Gavin.
Well, I can't give you a definite winner in trend in England except for Shishkin, maybe, who should win.
According to Gavin Lynch, it's going to be another bleak March for the British. And now it's time for the week that was. So we covered the first 2 days of Christmas on last week's show. So Gavin, from day 3 of the Leopardstown Christmas Festival to now, I want you to tell me about each and every horse that impressed you. And by look at your notes, which is like a novel, quite a few. Yeah, quite a few, yeah. Starting on the Tuesday the 28th. Just to say before we start, I think we should really appreciate what a brilliant season we're having and what a brilliant sport we get to watch all the time. Because the racing from Sunday to Sunday, which was 8 days, was just extraordinary, I thought. We're going to start with the Pertemps qualifier in Leopardstown. Panda Boy, he's a 6-year-old now. He's very unexposed. He only had 4 runs before he ran the other day in Leopardstown. Stayed really, really well. He's 16 and 20-1 for the Pertemps. Now, the stats are that a horse that wins a qualifier doesn't win the final. But I tipped one last year. Did you? Imperial Alcazar. Panda Boy I wouldn't dismiss. I think because he's only exposed and because he's only 6, he certainly could be a player. He stays forever. Winter Fog, who ended up finishing 2nd, he got there too soon. Whether he fully stays 3 miles, maybe on better ground he might, but I'd imagine Winter Fog could end up in a Coral Cup or a Martin Pipe or something myself. With true connections. Yeah, correct. We're on to next, Classical Dream and Flooring Porter. There was 2 lengths between them at the finish. Why did you make it a start? I was going to say there was 2 lengths between them at the finish and there was about 6 or 8 lengths between them at the start. Look, a Flooring Porter is a very tricky individual.
we've seen it before that he's a bit of a space cadet, but has lots and lots of ability. Won last year's Stairs Hurdle quite easy. So when they jumped off, Danny even had a look around to ask the starter, how's he keeping? So a bit of a mess. And, you know, really the race was over after furlong. When they get to Cheltenham, Danny Mullins will have one objective on Flooring Porter, is that he has to be in front, jumping the first or second.
Yeah, Classical Ring doesn't have to be in front.
No, and that wasn't the plan. Even William Paul said that afterwards. But Classical Dream is now 2-1 favourite for the Stairs. Flooring Porter is 5-1. The first furlong will decide whatever chance Flooring Porter has. He has to get to the front. And if he does, I could see him run a big race.
Okay.
Your horse, Burning Victory, ran very, very well.
Yeah, happy days.
Beaten 23 lengths in the end. But for the first time, that was her 6th ever hurdle run. First time ever, she jumped quite well.
She did. She jumped well, yeah.
Now, I'd imagine, although there was 11 in it, she did have a lot of room and she was able to look at her hurdles and stuff. I just wonder, the mare's hurdle this year is so open. Will there be a large feeling that might be? So that mightn't suit her. But she ran much better. She's 12-1. You tipped her up to a big price.
33-1.
That must give you hope.
12s now. Almost a third of the price. Finally, they're coming good, Gavin. Right, go on.
We mentioned Gavin and Plutard. There's no need to talk about it again, really. 5-1 and 3-1 for the Gold Cup. Ken Boy finished third. Yeah, a super finish. Davy Russell gave it a great ride. As I said, he got boxed in at the bend by Rachel, and then he just timed it to perfection at the end. So, super finish. We mentioned Gallop and Deschamps. The times that I mentioned is that...
Yeah, I'm interested in this.
Yeah, so compared to the Savills Chase, from the last fence plus the circuit,
yes,
I prefer to do the last fence rather than the line.
Okay.
Because when they're going past the line, sometimes the camera angle is not exactly right, so it's a bit tricky to get. So I think the last fence is easier. Plus the circuit. So Gallop and Deschamps was 408. Galvin was 411. So Gallop and Deschamps beat them by 12 lengths with a circuit to go. Now, just to keep it in perspective, is that from the third last, Galvin was actually 12 lengths quicker. So there's pros and cons.
So the Gallop and Deschamps go much quicker than the back. Yeah.
Just they went slower early.
Okay.
Now that would also tell you that Galvin put in a super performance, that they did go slow in the Savills. Whereas in the Gold Cup, they're going to go quicker, and that can suit him more test of stamina. So
is Gallop and Deschamps the right favourite for the Brown Advisory?
Absolutely, yeah. 7-4 at the minute, best price, I think. It's incredibly short, having just had one spin over fences. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And he's got Brave Man's Game and your horse, Hoyce, and your to take on. But to me, it just was a wow moment.
Yeah, I think he wins it.
Redemption Day won the bumper, beat Music Drive by 4.5 lengths.
He's nice.
Yeah, brilliant
He's
horse.
Nice.
Similar to Facile Vega, who also won at Christmas. This horse looks to have loads and loads of gears. Don't be surprised maybe if it goes back to the flat. The 12 furlong maiden at Galway could be an option. Patrick Mullins has won that for the last 5 years in a row, did you know? So
right.
We're giving you winners of Galway.
A new strand to the Upping The Ante this week.
Yeah. So you move my notes around, Dave.
Should I?
Yeah.
Sorry, here we go.
That's all right. On to the Mare's Chase down.
Do you know, actually, very funny story, right? Very, very quickly, right? My sister got married years and years ago, right? And I was a groomsman, and the best man was sitting beside me at the table, right? So he had all his notes written out, and it was like this. It was like loads of pages and pages of notes. And he had about 4 different stories. So every time he'd look down, you know, he'd get a laugh from the crowd, and then he'd look down to see where he was.
Yes.
But I'd like point him to tell him which one he was on. So he told his story, got a great laugh from the crowd anyway. And he looked down to see the next story. Excuse me. And I pointed him back up to the first one. So he told the first story again. And he had no idea. That's how nervous he was. He was absolutely sorry about that, and I apologise.
We're on to Limerick on the 28th. Concertista won the Mare's Chase, beat Darren's Hope by 4 lengths.
What did you think?
I thought it's okay. I wouldn't be getting carried away. She's quite low at her fences, I think. Now, that works brilliantly. I just wonder, are the fences in Cheltenham a bit stiffer than Limerick? Hard to say. She is quite low. She's favoured now for the Mare's Chase at 11-4. But to beat Darren's Hope by 4 lengths, Darren's Hope had 2 runs over fences, beaten 25 lengths by Magic Days, 35 lengths by Farouk Delen. So did it enhance its form for the Mare's Chase? Maybe, but I wouldn't get carried away.
I think she's very short for what she's done over fences.
Yeah. The horse that beat down in Cork won in Nason Sunday, so maybe because the form got a boost. On to Leopardstown on the 29th. Journey with Me beat Malala Crooner and Kilcrut. Do you remember Prince changed his name to Symbol? So he used to be the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah.
Well, Kilcrut, this is the artist formerly known as...
Have you given up?
I wouldn't give up, but I'd say there has to be some problem with him. Like, he lost his action turning in. does he have a win problem now or something? But he's not the horse that he was last year. Definitely not.
So was this maiden hurdle actually not as good as we thought?
I would say so. Now, the horse in fourth, am I right? That'll win the next day. Lovely run. Manila Crooner.
Gorgeous run.
Jumped terribly. Jumped terrible. Is it going to end up in a Martin Pipe or something? I'm not sure. Maybe it will. Gorgeous run. But I would not be getting carried away with Journey With Me. It's now 6-1 joint favourite for the Ballymore.
Couldn't believe it was favourite actually.
Yeah. But it's got to a stage now with the Ballymore that if you went out and rode a winner in Tramore, you'd end up nearly favourite for it because it's so open.
I'm not an novice though, Gavin.
No, true.
No.
Journey With Me at 6-1 is too short for me anyway. I wasn't blown away by the performance. No. Onto the Mayor's Hurdle. Royal Cahala beat Heaven Help Us and Tell Me Something Girl. One thing to point out was the weights they carried. Royal Cahala carried 11.4. Heaven Help Us carried 11 stone 1. But Tell Me Something Girl carried 11 stone 9.
Yeah,
so she gave away £8 and £5. So I thought that was a hell of a run.
Yeah, really good run by Tell Me Something Girl.
She's 13-2.
One thing with Royal Cahala, she needs cutting the ground. So the softer the ground at Cheltenham, the better chance she has.
Yeah, but I mean, she's going to need incredibly soft ground. I wouldn't be into her for Cheltenham.
I was surprised how short she is.
Yeah, I tipped her up last year for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle and she didn't run well. I think she needs really soft ground. I don't think she's going to get it, even though the Mayor's Hurdle run on the Tuesday. Heaven Help Us, they haven't put the cheek pieces back on yet this season, so just to keep that in mind. The one thing that'll be very interesting is the tactics in the Mayor's Hurdle this year. You're going to have Heaven Help Us wants to lead and you're going to have Stormy Ireland wants to lead. So are they going to take each other on? Are they going to go too quick? So it's just something to bear in mind. Onto Fury Road. He's been called a few names in his time. I wasn't blown away by him in the race in Fairy House. The Drinmore,
yeah,
because he came there to win his race and he spat the dummy out.
Oh, he didn't want to go. He didn't want to know about it at Fairies.
Now, in fairness, they put the first time cheek pieces on a Leopardstown, plus the step up and trip to 3 miles, and he jumped really well and he bolted up really. He's 8-1 for the Brown Advisory. Is he going to beat Gallop and Champ? Maybe not, but he won very, very well. Run Wild Fred finished second. An okay run.
He absolutely upscuttled the fence. Like how he got through.
How did he stand up?
Unbelievable.
Like he landed in the middle of the fence and totally winded himself.
Well, it's funny, like his jumping was absolutely exceptional the whole way. And then he goes bang. Yeah. When you wonder horses sometimes, like.
Yeah. A bit mad. Vanillier was very poor, finished third, beat another 10 lengths. Its jumping just wasn't good enough. He even slowed up coming to a number of fences, so I'd be against him. Sharjah won the race for the 4th time, beat Sandy here by a neck.
Madison Hurdle.
The Madison Hurdle, I couldn't think of it. And is 6-1. A non-runner no bet with Bet365 for the Gold Cup. I said the Champion Hurdle. And I just wonder, will they end up having a betting without Honeysuckle? If they did, I'd imagine Appreciated would be 2-1, Charge would be 5-2. He's the reliable one. We haven't seen Appreciated yet.
Have you heard anything about Appreciated?
Not a thing, no.
We're going to have to find out. For next week's show, we're going to find out what's going on with Appreciated.
You said that before, that you'd find out. You never did.
I did, yeah. He's staying over hurdles.
All right. Sharjah definitely missed no last hurdle because he's such an exceptional jumper that if the last hurdle was in play, I'd imagine he would have won by a length or two. Zana here ran a cracker,
yeah. He'll run well in the Champion Hurdle.
He will look a fast run race. On to Limerick on the 29th. Tiupu beat Quilixius by a half length. Quilixius must have traded incredibly short after the second last because it certainly went 3 lengths clear. And in the end, Tiupu did brilliant to come back and win. Dara O'Keefe probably got there too soon. 14-1 for the Champion Hurdle, Tiupu, 25 Quilixius. And on the same day in Newbury, Stage Star won the Shallow Hurdle. Yeah. Won very easy. Travels well, jumps really well. Beat West Balboa, a mare by 6.5 lengths and 4 lengths back to Gringo Dobrel. He's 3 from 3 over hurdles. 8-1 for the Ballymore. He was 20s before that. We mentioned him here in the show before that he was good value.
It's not ridiculously short for what he's done, like. Yeah, there's a chance.
Definitely.
I forgot he's English. Yeah. He's English.
He's a solid each-way chance.
Yeah, but sure, he's trained in England. So he can't win, can he, Gavin?
He can.
Well, you say you can't even pick out a race that they'll win.
Well, you said a definite winner.
Okay, go on, sorry.
The 31st of December, New Year's Eve, Ante Post Tip, on Baton, who's now an 8-year-old, had been one out of 4 before the race on Saturday, but chasing is definitely his game. His jumping was brilliant, really, really good. He's 10-1 for the National One Chase with Bet365. I think there's 14s.
Definitely has a chance.
Definitely has a chance, yeah, no question. Its time was 7 seconds quicker than Lord Lariat, who won over the same trip, and he's rated 128. So Egality Man fell second last, but he wasn't going to win. Pied Piper and beat Vauban.
Yeah, interesting race. These are 2 good juveniles.
These are 2 really good juveniles, yeah. They're unlucky. Well, Vauban was unlucky that ran into Pied Piper. The Gordon Elliott trained winner was rated 96 in the flat. His jumping was superb.
You know who owned him on the flat?
I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Her Majesty.
Oh, very good. Vauban had won.
Not
twice.
Anne-Marie, the Queen. The Queen.
The real Queen. Vauban had won twice on the flat in France. Jumped okay, stayed on, made a mistake the last. But they're two really good horses, so keep an eye on those two. Harmonia Maker won the bumper by 12 lengths. She mightn't go to Cheltenham. She will go to the Dublin Racing Festival, and she's an excellent mare.
Got a few tweets about her. A lot of people are very excited by her.
Yeah, no, she's very good. On to New Year's Day, Hillcrest. Is he the biggest horse in training?
Massive.
He's massive.
He's like Paul O'Connell.
He's like a giraffe.
Yeah, he's massive. Yeah.
He beat Iron Maximus by 2 lengths.
Delighted to see Henry Daly with a good horse.
Yeah. Iron Maximus is now rated up from 129 to 134. So,
Coral Cup written all over this thing.
Yeah, maybe even the county hurdle, I was going to say.
Okay.
Be interesting, Coral Cup or county. The county hurdle, you have to remember, is on the new track. It takes a bit of staying. It's 2 mile 1, whereas the Coral Cup on the old course 2 mile 5. So I'm not sure. On Press won over course and distance that the Turner's Chase is going to be. It's now 8-1 for the Turners. Beat Glancing Queen, giving it weight by 10 lengths in the Dipper. Jumped a little bit left at times, but nothing to worry about. Made 2 slight mistakes. Yeah, he was good.
Very good.
Yeah, very good, yes. Powered up the hill, particularly in the last furlong, was probably his best furlong.
He has a chance.
He does.
Definitely has a chance.
Stormy Ireland.
Did you fancy Stormy Ireland?
I put it up last Saturday in the column in the paper.
In the Racing Post, yeah.
Just
Racing Post. Get the name right, Gavin.
I just thought that 10-1 for the Mayor's Hurdle was a bit too short. I expect her to run well. Now, whether she would have won or not is hugely up for debate. I've watched.
Probably not.
Probably not, but I wouldn't say. I would say 40-60
in favour of Bruno Storm.
Yeah. Now the only thing is that Stormy Ireland did jump the last hurdle in front, so but Bruno Storm probably would have won. But she has to have a good chance. She's 5-1 favourite for the Mayor's Hurdle. Ante Post Tip, Allegory Devassi is now 8-1 for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. She was getting £6 from Monisher RWE. It was now rated 115. She showed a great turn of foot. She's a lovely big mare. She jumped very well, quick and clear. She's a good horse.
Very good horse, yeah.
Mount Ida beat Ellie May by a half a length. Huge improvement by Ellie May compared to Aintree. She seems like she's on the way back, and I think she'll keep improving. I don't particularly fancy Mount Ida for the Mayor's Chase. Now,
Did she win the Gold Cup?
I don't fancy her going left-handed, Dave.
She's in the Gold Cup, you know that?
Yeah, she's in the entries, yeah. She ran once in her life over fences left-handed, which was in the Kim Muir. Now, you're going to say she won the Kim Muir, so she's good. But I looked at the replay, the video of it again yesterday. The first 10 fences, she jumped straight right. And
she won, though.
You're trying to annoy me.
That was such dirty look.
So I think that she's opposable in the Mayor's Chase. If she does that, she's not going to win it. Now, last year, Mark Walsh was very kind on Ellie May because he kept Colreevy was jumping to her right, and Mark Walsh was on her outside, keeping her straight, which is a very nice thing to do. I'd say Paul Town and send him a Christmas card. But this year, hopefully, Mark will be on the inside of Mount Ida when she starts jumping to her right. I thought Ellie May at 7-1. I think she's good value.
You're sticking by her. Yeah. Sticking by Ellie May.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Jungle Boogie was really good. Beat Deal Care by 12 lengths over 2 mile 5. He's now 3 from 3. He's won a bumper. He won a maiden hurdle by, I think, 30 lengths, and he won by 12 lengths the other day. To me, he's a very, very good horse. I think, as I said to you, he's 10-1 for the Turners. I'd imagine he'll go there, particularly if Gavin Champ goes for the longer race. But I think Jungle Boogie will have a strong each-way chance in that race. You've messed up your notes again. On to New Year's Day in Tremor, El Fabiolo. Very, very, very poor race, but was excellent.
Are you tipping him this week, mate?
No.
Okay. Because I was so tempted to put this horse up this week.
So the thing we have to talk about here is the quote. Afterwards, Willie was asked, you've won this races in Tremor like this race before with Lorena and Sanwa. How does this fella compare? And Willie said, he's as good as any of them. So that's a big statement. Like, Willie made a couple of big statements over the Christmas, which is not like him, but they're fully justified. Fernie Hollow said it was awesome. Gallopin Champ said he hadn't seen on like it in years. And he said Al Fabiolo was as good as any of those horses. So 20-1 for the Supreme, 25 for Ballymore. I'd imagine he'd stick to 2 miles. He was a little bit keen, jumped super, but he's a good horse.
Very good horse.
Yeah.
So tempted to put him up this week. But no, I didn't.
Restraint. Albion Photo beat Borough Saint by 10 lengths. All 4 runners were trained by Willie, so it turned into a bit of a farce. He made 2 mistakes, but it was like a testimonial match or a friendly international that just everybody went round and they finished. Here's one for you. He was 2 seconds quicker than Arctic Ambition, who won over the same trip, right? Arctic Ambition is rated 86. If Albion Photo was rated 170, if he met Arctic Ambition in a handicap, he'd have to give him 6 stone. Okay?
Right.
He'd have to give him 84 pounds. And he was only 2 seconds quicker than him. So they absolutely crawled around. A bit of a joke race. The last day to talk about is Sunday, January the 2nd. Blue Lord jumped superbly. They missed out the fences in the straight. He's now settling much, much better than he did last year. Like Third Time Lucky, last year he used to just waste too much energy in the first half of the race. It's like you, if you're going to do the charity cycle this year, just don't go too hard in the first half of the race there. But he's very, very good. He's 7-1 for the Arkle. His jumping is great, and he's relaxed, and he's got an engine. So he's an strong each way player in the Arkle.
Definitely,
He was 9 seconds quicker than the handicap chase. They won by Fighting Fit, who was rated 111. The last race to talk about is the Lawlers and Ace, and Ginto, I'm going to say instead of Ginto. Ginto beat a Grand Jury by 4 1/4 lengths, and Hollow Games was in third, beating neck. He was a little bit unlucky. What Do You Want got a bad ride, got into bits of trouble, but when he was pulled out, he didn't quicken. Ginto was much the best horse. He's 7-1 for the Albert Bartlett, 6-1 for the Ballymore. Personally, I think he'd be more suited to Bartlett. I think he'd probably go there unless the ground comes up very soft. And if the ground comes up proper soft, I'd say he might go up to Ballymore. But he's a very good horse. His price tag, I'm sure, is justified.
Yeah.
And the last thing to mention is Willie Mullins. From Sunday to Sunday is 8 days because there's 2 Sundays. There was only 7 days race and there was none on the 30th, right? In the 7 days, he trained 23 winners. So I had a look. Last year in the Irish Trainers Championship, only 7 trainers had more winners than 23 in 12 months, and he had 23 in a week. And Henry de Bromhead, his horse were in form. So just keep that in mind going forward, that whatever horses ran well, like say a Plutarch and Journey with Me, maybe they might improve. But he'd only 4 winners from 85 runners in the last 21 days, less than 5% strike rate. So keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
And that's it.
That is the week that was. So each week here on Upping The Ante, we preview one of the graded races at the Cheltenham Festival. And this week it is the turn of the nightcap on Wednesday. It is the Weatherby's Champion Bumper. And at the moment with Bet365, American Mike, tipped up by the man next to me for the Champion Bumper, is 3-1. Facile Vega, so good at Leopard's over Christmas, is 7-2. Redemption Day, also won at Leopard's over Christmas, is 6-1. The Big Giant for Peter Fahy is 12-1. Pink in the Park 12-1. The Model Kingdom for Noel Mead is 14-1. The Nice Guy is 14-1, named after you, Gavin, is it? And 20-1 Bar. So Gavin, this is shaping up to be a hell of a race.
Hell of a race, yeah.
We'll start off with American Mike. You got in there early.
Yeah.
Was it your first tip? I think it was.
I probably was, yeah. Probably was.
Are you still relatively?
Yeah. Look, his time in the north was exceptionally fast. His time in Navan was very good also. So he's done it on the clock. He's bolted up twice. They think a lot of him. He's the right profile. But since 3 weeks ago, I'd be very bullish. But now that we've seen a couple of brilliant winners over Christmas, you have to be realistic and think that it's a bit more open than.
Looks a good bumper.
It looks a brilliant bumper, yeah. Facile Vega, Quevega's son, even though he's a huge horse, he's only 7-2, but he was brilliant on Stephen's Day. If you take the Paul Nolan horse out of it, he would have won by a distance. So.
And he's a stayer, like he's going to really relish that hill, like, and they're going to ride him positively as well.
Yeah, he stays. He's got the gears. Lovely big horse by walking the park, and also Redemption Day, who won I think on the 3rd day of Leopardstown. He looks real.
He's
big horse. Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit like Fernie Hollow and Appreciated, isn't it? Facile Vega, Redemption Day. I think Redemption Day is the real speed. I think push button is Redemption Day.
Hard to know. I'd probably prefer Facile Vega of the 2, but Redemption Day, if he won the Cheltenham Bumper, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
The Big Diane was impressed the last time. I don't know. I think it's an incredibly good race. I'm still very hopeful for American Mike, but it'll be interesting to see if Facile Vega and Redemption Day take each other on in the Dublin Race Festival. I'd say they will because it's a lot of prize money on offer.
That would be some race.
I'd imagine Patrick will stick to Facile Vega. What would you think?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah. But
very good race.
Easy.
Still hopeful for American Mike.
What about the Model Kingdom for Noel Mead?
Yeah.
She looks quite useful.
Yeah, won very, very well in Galway, won very well in Navan, beat, was it Harmonia Maker that day? So she's very good.
Always franked.
Yeah, a mare getting the £7 perhaps, but I think if you stick to the top 3 in the bet, I think you'd be better off.
Noel Mead trained the horse that finished second to Cousin Benny in the Champion Bumper. Can you remember the name?
I can't. I remember he did, was he that...
Do you want to know the answer?
Yeah, go on.
Corski Royale.
Corski Royale, yeah. In the purplish colours.
Yeah, very good. Nina Carberry rode.
And I think he trained Tiananmen Square, who was a top horse back in the day.
Tiananmen Square is right, yeah. So at the moment, we think it's going to be a really strong race.
Yeah,
very good race. You're still happy, American Mike?
Yeah, who do you like?
I think at the price, I think 6-1 Redemption Day is too big.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of people talking about him in very nice terms.
But certainly,
none of the horse better than I do.
Three super horses plus plenty of others as well.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Yep.
That's the Weatherby's Champion Bumper. So what you want to know now is what's happening this week. And the honest answer is not a lot, Gavin.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. It's kind of crap, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, the Talworth Hurdle is on, but there's not much else. This week and next week are going to be a bit quiet until we say get close to the Dublin Racing Festival. You can't have huge racing all the time.
No.
So
isn't that why Mondays and Tuesdays were invented in the week?
Yeah.
So you can't look forward to the weekend. You can't have every day being a weekend. But anyway, we're going to look at a couple of races. And we're going to start off with the 1240 at Sandown on Saturday. And this is going to be a real informative affair. It is a listed mares hurdle. And there are a few entries from Ireland here. Galway for Willie Mullins and Paul Townend is in there. And Sky Ace, a Grade 1 winner last season at the Fairyhouse Festival for Shark Hanlon. Good race, Gavin.
It is. And Martello Sky is in as well. Galway is rated 142. So is Sky Ace. And Martello Sky is the highest rated 144. So, but don't you know, even though she's not the highest rated, presumably Galway will be favourite, trained by Willie. Paul's gone over the rider. So,
I think she'll win.
Yeah, she was very, very good in Punchtown. She was beaten a few times, but Punchtown was excellent. And then we're waiting for something to stand out in the mare's hurdle. So if she goes and bolts up here, it'll be interesting to see the reaction of the market. So maybe Galway, yeah. Yeah,
Galway for me as well. And we're going to see the next big thing, hopefully, Gavin, at 2:25 at Sandown on Saturday in the Talworth Hurdle. Do we have a nickname for Constitution Hill yet? Has he done enough to achieve a nickname?
Not yet, no.
So can we call him Con?
Con.
So what about Con on Saturday?
He should win. Brilliant the last day. Beat your horse Might Eye by 14 lengths. Showed loads of gears. So yeah, I think Constitution Hill.
Yeah, I think Constitution Hill is exceptional. I'm hoping he'll prove himself to be exceptional. You know what I think is the big danger?
Go on.
And he will give him a race. Shall we have one more? Trade a very short and running over hurdles at Ascot. I was kind of half blown away by him when he won his bumper. Got to the front just a little bit too soon and was collared by Can Do Kid at Ascot. And I think this will run a big race.
So maybe there's 6 runners. Maybe you could get 2 to 1 without or 5 to 1 without.
Yeah.
Is that the way to go?
Yeah, I think shall we have one more? I think we'll be second to Constitution Hill. Okay. I'll be pretty sure of that.
Good.
And at Fairyhouse on Sunday, we have the Joan and Dan Moore Memorial Handicap Chase. Now, I like one in this.
Go on.
If it runs.
I did have a look at it. Dunvegan will have a chance, even though probably wouldn't like maybe a deep ground. Won well the last day at Fairyhouse. Beat Grange Walk, who won since the Leopardstown. Has gone up £7 to 146 from 139. So maybe Dunvegan each way, but I probably won't have a bet in the race.
Do you know who I think it could be the time to catch? Blackbow.
Blackbow
off 151. I thought it was interesting. Like, Gordon actually doesn't have that many entries in the race either, which I thought was interesting. He's only got 2, I think.
Okay.
And it's a race that he usually farms. But I thought Blackbow, it's a big pot. Blackbow was not a grade 1 chaser, but he's almost like he's a grade 2 / kind of grade 3 chaser. He's run off 151. And if he's fit and well, I thought it was a nice race to bring him back in. So Blackbow for me.
He's always promised a lot, Blackbow, hasn't he?
He has, yeah.
One other race on Sunday to keep an eye on is if the Devil's Coachman takes on either El Barra or St. Sam. That's a very good beginner's chase.
Okay.
I'd go for the Devil's Coachman, who's a big eye catcher behind Fernie Hollow and Punch.
Yeah. Nice introduction to fences for the Devil's Coachman. So we told you it wasn't great. We got a couple of minutes out of it. That's what's happening this week. So it's Up in the Stakes time here on Upping The Ante, where we try to raise some much needed funds for Cancer Trials Ireland. Now, again, we had a great start to this segment of the show. We had a fantastic start. We almost started too well.
First 5 weeks we won.
First 5 weeks, bang, 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 bang. Yeah, okay. First 5 weeks, okay?
Yeah.
So it slowed down a bit.
Yep.
Slow down a bit, yeah. No, I have to say now. So we need to get back on track, okay?
Yeah.
So this week, I am going to go to the 3 o'clock at Sandown on Saturday. the Veterans Handicap Chase. You could run in one of them, Gavin, could you?
Yeah.
Veterans Handicap Chase. I'm going to go for Sir Ivan. I'm going to Bet365 are kindly sponsored 50 quid for me and Gavin each week. So I'm going to put 25 quid each way on Sir Ivan in the 3 o'clock at Sandown on Saturday. I just think he needs to go back right-handed. I know he's plenty of winning form going left-handed, but I thought he jumped out to his right last time at Warwick when he was beaten by final nudge. He was beaten just over 6 lengths. But I thought it was a performance. It was actually a much better performance than the distance he was beaten and his finishing position suggests. I thought it was a real good run. He was third in the race last year. He was only beaten a couple of lengths. He was bang there at the last. And I would say Harry Fry has had this race in mind for Sir Ivan all year. Lorcan Murta takes off £3, 10 to 1 each way, 25 quid each way on Sir Ivan for me in the 3 o'clock on Saturday.
Boom.
Boom.
I'm going to go for a safety net, probably a sharp price favourite. Ard Hill in the handicap hurdle on Sunday. I hate going against Glen Quinn Castle, who's been an ATM machine. It's won 7 in a row. I think I've backed the last 4 times, but I'm going to go against Glen Quinn Castle with Ard Hill. Bolted up in Ascot, as we've seen. He's in off 111. Needs to get up in the ratings if there's any chance of getting into maybe a race at Cheltenham. So Ard Hill at a sharp price.
So a few weeks ago, Gavin, Upping The Ante followers, and we've a few avid followers, will know that you said you had a pretend horse for us in a couple of weeks. Was it Ard Hill?
No.
Oh.
No.
Now, a few people are guessing on Twitter and they all thought it was Ard Hill.
No, it might be in time, but not at the minute.
It wasn't the one that you were thinking of back then. When are you going to tell us?
When it gets entered into a qualifier.
Okay, that's fair enough.
It's trained in County Meath. Now, leave it at that.
Okay. There you go.
Don't ask.
But it's Ard Hill on Sunday.
Yeah, €50 win, yeah.
€50 win and 25 quid each way for me on Sir Ivan in the Veterans Handicap Chase at Sandown on Saturday. So it's time for our latest round of Ante Post picks for the 2022 Cheltenham Festival. Gavin, do you want to go first or second?
I shall go second.
Okay, so I have found a horse in a race that I actually have a terrific record in Upping The Ante. Right. Last year I went for St. Sam, right, who was just pipped, okay, well not just pipped, but was beaten by Jeff Kidder. The year before, people will know my nap was Aramax.
The Boodles.
And I have found a horse in the Boodles with a very, very similar profile to Aramax, Gavin.
It better not be the horse I'm thinking of. Go on.
My latest tip for the 2022 Cheltenham Festival is Brisca.
No, don't say that.
Why?
Because I was going to tip that next week.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brisca is my latest selection. Was third in the Grade 2 at Leopardstown on St. Stephen's Day, or Boxing Day, as our British viewers call it. I love. You're sick, are you? Are you sick?
Go on.
I love the run. He made a mistake at the second last. Had jumped well to that point. Lost a lot of ground at the second last, and I didn't think Jack was absolutely overly hard on him up the home straight. I thought it was a gorgeous run. Second, the 2 top horses in Fildor and Lunar Power. I thought it was a really, really good run. And I like that he's a stayer as well. He was with Eddie Harty on the flat, and I think he's going to love the fast pace of a Boodles. He's a good jumper apart from that second last. His maiden hurdle form is working out okay, but he was very good from the last of the line there. He's a strong stayer, and for me, he ticks all the boxes that I want. He has an RPR of 125 for the race at Leopardstown. So at the moment, you'd imagine he'd get a mark in around 130. And the reason I had to get him in this week, because he's entered at Fairy House in the first race on Sunday. And I think he is your 2022 Boodles winner, Gavin. Are you sick?
Sick. I'm going
was he on your...
No, 100%.
Was he?
Not normally, it's very hard to find tips. And you look and you look and you look. And this week, I found 2 and I said, lovely. That's this week and next week sorted. So I had one for one of the mayor's races picked. And next week, I swear to God, in my dog's life,
do you believe him?
I was picking Brisca.
Do you believe him?
So will you let me switch around and join you, please?
Go on, you can join me. Go on, you give your case.
Because
you want to join me with Brisca?
It's the same case with Brisca, definitely.
Okay.
He got a bit outpaced at the bend when he won his maiden hurdle, but he stayed on. You thought he looked beat, and then he won easy. Gorgeous run at Christmas. I was going to wait till next week simply because I know he's running at the weekend or he's entered, but I was happy to wait for the third run to qualify for the handicap rating. I actually would nearly prefer if he doesn't win at the weekend, but he probably will because he could end up too high in the rates in the weights. But yeah, Brisca 14 to 1,
20 to 1.
Are they giving us 20?
20 to 1, Bet365 Brisca.
So they're matching.
Matching the best price in the industry. Our good friends at Bet365.
That's very,
20
very fair.
to 1 Brisca.
Because there were 14s, but I think honestly, Dave, I was tipping Brisca.
So we actually used to tell each other our tips before the show, okay? But because prices were dwindling, and we were all saying, right, let's not say anything until we actually start.
Yeah.
So this is genuinely
genuine. Yeah.
Okay, this is genuine.
So
I believe you. I think I believe you. I know I do. I believe you. So Brisket,
yeah.
20-1. Okay, give us your other one as well. You can have 2 this week, and
Can I have 2?
You can have 2 this week. Yeah.
The other one I was going to pick today was Allegory Devassi at 8-1 for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. So that's 2 this week. So you can catch up another time.
No problem.
She had 4 runs in France between November 20 and last April. 3 ordinary enough runs, and then she was third in Otay. Very, very good run. The horse that was 4th just behind her won a Grade 3 since. She ran last Saturday at Fairy House. She beat Monaster Wee, the difficult to pronounce name, who now is rated, I think, of 115 or 116.
Didn't make a great job of it either.
No. She had previously beaten Gilly Billy at Clonmel, and that bolted up since. The form was fine. She was getting £6. She won by 11 lengths. She's a fine big mare.
She's massive.
Yeah, she's huge, which I like. I like the fact that too, her jumping at the start, first 3-4 hurdles, she was too high, but then she jumped fine. She showed fantastic gears in the straight. She won easy. She stayed very well. She did wear a tongue tie, but that's okay. She earned an RPR of 128, which is quite high. Now, students of form will tell you that Statuaire should be the horse that's going to win the Mayor's Novice Hurdle, because she won the Royal Bond from My Mate Mozzie, Mighty Potter, and Far Out. The form has been boosted since the Christmas at Leopardstown. She has an official rating of 135. The Mayor's Law is a bit lower because the £7 is included. The only thing is that Statuaire will have to carry a £5 penalty at Cheltenham. Now, I'm hoping that Allegory Devassi doesn't go and win maybe the Salarina Grade 3 in early February, because then she'll have to carry the penalty. So I'm banking on that. But I think at 8-1, she's very good value. Willie has 5 of the top 6 betting for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. I hope she's the best. And Willie has won 5 of the first 6 runnings of the Mayor's Novice. So Allegory Devassi at 8-1, and thank you for letting me join you with Britska, because I genuinely was tipping Britska next week.
Do you believe him?
Honestly,
do you really believe him?
Honestly.
No, we do. So there you go. Brisket and Allegory Devassi are Gavin Lynch's latest round of Ante Post Tips for the 2022 Cheltenham Festival. So before we go our separate ways, we're going to have a quick look at our tips so far, Gavin. And we'll kick off with mine. And Burning Victory was a good one for me, actually, at Leopardstown over Christmas. Was third Classical Dream in the Christmas Hurdle. Tipped up on the show at 33-1. The one price I can't say. Now 12-1 Bet365, so got a little bit of value there. And a couple of others that are going reasonably well. Silver Forever is now 10-1, having been tipped up at 20-1. High Senior was tipped up before Galloping the Champs. Did an uncanny impression of Arkle. LA Bell 10-1, Time Hill 8-1, and God only knows what stories of Shackham Perspire. Pulled his hamstring, Gavin. Yeah. That's why he didn't run at Leopardstown over Christmas. So hopefully he'll make it back in time. But it looks a long road to recovery for Shackham Perspire. But the 2 I'd be most happy with anyway on my list would be Silver Forever and at the moment Burning Victory in the Mayor's Hurdle. Yep. So your list, Gavin, it's looking quite strong. Yeah, 3 of them I think ran, 3 or 4 of them ran over the Christmas. Phil Dore, Fernie Hollow and Galloping the Champs, they all won quite well, so they're a good bit shorter, thankfully. I tipped up Sir Gerhard after he won at Leopardstown. I thought his jump was very good. And I definitely think that Ellie May at 7-1 is excellent each way value. I can see her hopefully beating Concertista, maybe against your mare as well. But I think she'll turn the tables on Gordon's mare from Fairy House. So, yeah, not too bad. Not too bad, I'm sure. We've added Brisket to the list this week as well, Gavin. No, and thank you, Dave. I owe you a favour. I appreciate that. That's all right. So there you go. That's our Ante Post list for the 2022 Cheltenham Festival. So that's it for episode 9 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365. Thanks for having me, Gavin. No, pleasure. We'll have to go and get Gavlar residence. It's very nice. We'll have to get you a cup of tea. You haven't got a cup of tea yet. Or water. You haven't got me anything. No, we'll get you a cup of tea and a slice of toast. But it'll be a quiet week. Haven't been away, so yeah. Wait till you read my review on TripAdvisor. Catch up on loads of videos. Yeah, we much jet lag? A little bit, yeah. Still a bit tired, but not too bad. Do you want to tell people where you were? It was Dominican Republic. Nice place, nice people, nice food and that, yeah, so it was grand. Yeah. Good towels, yeah, fluffy, they're upstairs, yeah. So there you go, folks. We have Gavin home, and this next week, I promise you, we'll be back in the studio. Please God. We'll be back to normality next week, and it'll be, we'll be into the second week of January. It'll be all systems go for Cheltenham. But listen, thanks for watching episode 9. I've been David Jennings. He's been Gavin Lynch. If you're having a bet this week, don't forget to gamble responsibly. Only bet what you can afford to lose. Thanks for watching.